All these questions. All these questions. And not a single one of y'all could ask if the celestial realm had a sun in it. All of these. Not besides was Tarmiel's ocean. All of these, and y'all shouldn't ask a single stupid question. Before I hop into this video reviewing the Nakaba Q&A, please do me a favor and leave your favorite Q&A question in the comment section down below. Or if you haven't read any of them, hey, get ready to watch these. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review the Nakaba Q&A. Because there's a lot of stuff in here, and I was just going to read these all on my own, but I figured, hey, you know what? Might as well make this a sort of video source. So let's call this a Q&A breakdown. Anyway, let's hop right into it. We're going to go back to the beginning. There's a lot of stuff here, so I may be scanning, I may be zooming for some particular stuff, but we'll see. What's your nickname? We don't care. No, I'm not going to say we don't care. Let me see. When did you start reading? Aiming when you take a break from work? Which one character is your first love? I am legitimately just scared. Y'all know what I'm actually looking for. I'm looking for like versus battle information. But what clubs were you at university? What do you do on your days off? Ironically enough, I have read a lot of these before because I did just read them when they were on the side of chapters. But, like, I'm actually legitimately interested. I understand why a lot of these early Q&As don't have any, like, power questions, though. Because they're so rare. Whoa, what is the ideal age gap between an older woman and younger man couple? 3 to 10 years. Oh, hey, Nakaba, I see you. Will be a collection of one-shots by Suzuki Nakaba. How about it? Oh, okay, so there's down for a one-shot collection. Where are they? Where are they? Could someone please tell me? Like, Nakaba, where are these one-shots, bro? But which part of the girl do you notice first? Her mannerisms and expressions. Okay, then. How old were you when you debuted? 19 years ago. Okay, he has been on the grind for a while. First impression of Nakaba-sensei. What a rude person that is transferred to Nakaba. Wow. He met his wife in 2nd grade. That's actually pretty cool. What hairstyle on girls make your heart skip a beat as long as it suits any hairstyle, even a mohawk? Okay, Nakaba. Which TV shows, which scared, athlete, actor, food? Is Melius left-handed? Oh. I feel like I should have known that, because I'm pretty sure Zeldos is right-handed. Yeah, I think a couple demons are left-handed. I think Meliodas is left-handed, and I think Fraudulent is left-handed. A couple demons are. What music have you been listening to? 3 things you love about your life. She can clear Takahashi Meijin no Bokenjima. I have no idea what that is. She's not interested in my manga. Wow, that's impressive. We are like-minded. That's cool. Which game had an impact on your wizardry? Final Fantasy IV, Dragon Quest IV. Okay, that's cool. Holy Knight Jude use magic? I assume so. He's taken out by bomb before he had a chance to use it. Yikes, poor Jude. What do you put on fried eggs? Salt. And then soy sauce. Interesting. I know I'm like glancing over random things, but I'm just legitimately scared. What's the thing Diane wears on your arm? A sort of an arm guard sort of thing. Even he doesn't know what that was. I think that's why he ended up getting rid of them after a while and just replaced them with gloves. And they're probably also annoying to draw because like they do not fit the rest of Diane's character design. At least not to me. They seemed very, very strange. Because at least you would think she would have like something similar on her ankles, but no, she just has boots. So those things were weird. What kind of bread do you like? Jeez, who do you meet? I'm cold. Please tell me your household secret from warding off the cold. Huddle like hamsters. Okay. Elaine can transform. She can, but she's not sure if I'm like King, so she doesn't need to. I wonder what Elaine's transformation would look like though. Because like this is question 54, so this is way before Elaine got her full wings transformation. And to be fair, it's not really a transformation. Unlike King, she keeps her full wings out at all times. King sort of reverts back and forth. So I wonder, like, would she just turn into like a female version of King with blonde hair? I wonder. How do you cook for Naka Sensei? The Wednesday Korean Naka Sensei. I mean, you do what? Oh, that's cool. What are the Sin's blood types? Bond and Meliodas are B. Haphazard and responsible. Elizabeth and Diana are O. Wow. King is AB. Huh. I always saw their blood types, but I never knew Nakaba himself, actually. I mean, I guess he would have to answer it. If you can draw realistic, you'll be able to draw simplistically in course, so you're okay. I need to just go to Nakaba for art tips. How do you decide colors for your characters? Just how you imagine them? Nakaba, you imagine some wrong color for some 7 Deadly Sins characters, buddy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've grown used to Gallon being red, just like I've also grown used to Donnie's character design. And like, Sin's pink fur, but nah, but you gotta get a better imagination, bro. No, I'm kidding, but Cretaceous period. Wow, okay. You are wild, Nakaba. He and Elaine are both still not even cute. Are all fair Fairies fairly clueless. Whoa. Are all fairies... I added an extra word that wasn't there. Are all fairies clueless when it comes to love? I don't know if the fairy folk are ignorant or just take a long view of things. True, because they are, like, sort of immortal. Because Gerharde has been around for 3,000 plus years, naturally. Yeah, are fairies, like, pseudo-immortal? I guess they, like, live in nature, so they don't really have to... As long as nature's there, they won't die. Because now I think about it, fairies may just flat out... I'm not sure about the giants. We haven't seen any, like, long-lived giants outside of Droll. But I'm trying to think. And maybe Dubuzu's just been alive for all this time and he just left somewhere. We'll see when the movie comes out. But now that I think about it, yeah, Gerharde, unlike Meliodas, who would have died at 1,000, and unlike Merlin, who would have died at the end of her regular human lifespan, and we don't really know the goddess's lifespans, fairies just live for the longest time. So I guess they probably do take the long view of things. It's only 300 million yen. What would you do with it? I would buy the largest dinosaur fossil available for 3 million. Use whatever's left to rent an apartment to store it. Okay, Nakaba. Tell us about your first love. My first love transferred and she later became my wife. Wow. Wow. I still think it's cool Nakaba had a second grade love story. That's nice. How old are the two greatest holy knights? Dreyfus is 47. Golly. And Hendrickson is 39. Alright. So, Dreyfus is... Well, that makes sense. Dreyfus has a kid. Dreyfus is in, like, his 16 years after Camelot's destruction. I'm assuming this is, like, beginning of series. So, my man Dreyfus, he's in his 60s now, right? He's 63. He's 63 by the time Before I See the Apocalypse. I wonder how he looks. Hendrickson shouldn't be that bad. I think he should just be... Yeah, he should be 55. Golly. Alright, then. I see y'all. Is Dreyfus' life alive and well? Oh, yeah, she did pass away. I remember they said that in the original story. Our guild under Hauser, they're all 21. That makes sense. Arthur's favorite food, in order to be a splendid king, he's not picky with his food. Alright. What would Hawk be able to do if you use magic? You make him be able to eat 10 times as much leftovers and make leftovers float in the air. Impressive, Hawk. I like the mindset. I'm also fat. Is there any person or animal you'd like to bring back to life? I think we'd have trouble if dinosaurs came back. Yo, Nakaba really is a real one. What's the average lifespan of a fairy? 1,000 to 1,500 years. Gerharde doubled that. Like, legitimately doubled that. She doubled the max number and then some. Because she's been alive for more than 3,000 years. Golly, Gerharde. His armor 7 days since so cool. Whose armor is your favorite? Helbram and Golgius's armor. Golgius. I don't like Golgius's armor, but I do like Helbram's armor. Though it looks... And honestly, Helbram's armor reminds me of Ironside's armor, which is an interesting thing. Do you come with the character's colors thinking long and hard, or they sort of just come to you? 9% instinct, 10% consideration. That explains a lot. Which character takes you longest to draw? I can draw Hawk super fast. Makes sense. He's like a circle. For all the others, it takes more or less the same amount of time. It's a lot more work if we give them armor. Yeah, because Nakaba, like, 7 Deadly Sins art is something definitely I'm going to talk about. It's something I'm definitely going to talk about in the future. But when you look at 7 Deadly Sins art, it is super detailed. It's just drawn in such a way that the details merge so well together that you don't really notice how much effort Knuckle has to put in the draw, especially when he's doing armor. I love how Oslo, he must look at Hawk with, like, skeptical eyes. I bet if Hawk couldn't talk, Oslo would have eaten him. But do Captain harass all girls? No. No, come on now. From King's perspective, what? Are Dreyfus and Hendrickson attractive? I think Dreyfus has a pretty handsome face in King's eyes. He'd be a rival. How old is I in the human years? A little younger than... Yo, King, my boy, I'm calling the police. Because I think Elizabeth is 16? Hold on. I'm grabbing the cellular device. Hold on. Is Elizabeth 16? Wait a minute. I may have to call the police. Elizabeth, age. No, Elizabeth... Like, I already had to call the police on Meliodas, but I can sort of give it a pass. And, like, the fact that she's been around for 3,000 years, technically. 16. A little younger, so 15. King? I mean, he was literally going after a child. Yo, I gotta put King in prison. I'm calling the police right now. How do Merlin's clothes stay on? Magic. It's not a waste of magic since she has more than enough. Ooh, I wonder when that came out. Was that a nod? Was that a secret nod towards Merlin's Infinity? I'm wondering. That's actually pretty cool if Nakaba was planning ahead like that. That's the thing. I don't know when these questions came out relative to their respective chapters. I'm just taking guesses. Are Margaret and Giltham the same age, or is Margaret older? A novel that will go on sale in 2014. 2014. Seven Deadly Sins went on for so long. And I should know that, because I have been reading Seven Deadly Sins for years, but it always blows my mind when it's like 2014. I'm like, oh yeah, 2014. That was 7 years ago. How much did Hendrickson buy Helbram for? Probably around 1,000 gold coin. Darn, Helbram was cheap. Does Vivian wear a mask? I'm not confident in myself. Oh, I feel like they forgot to write Vivian. Unless... No, they forgot to write Vivian. Because Nakaba can draw female characters just fine. Is there a hole in the chest of the body of Helbram? Golly, of course it's still open. When did Dreyfus and Hendrickson start using Watashi? Did they consciously say it when they became knights? Which way is it because of your age? Huh? Watashi. I don't know. Oh, that may be a well, it's not called a prefecture. It's a way to denote respect. I'm pretty sure. I forget what it's called. I'll probably recall it way later into the video. But let's see. At what age did Bond meet Elaine? In his early 20s. How old was Elaine? 700 years? She was left alone by King for 700 years. And if fairies live for upwards of 1,000, she's probably a legal adult. If they're only supposed to live for that short a time period. Because I don't know. The last sister of the previous fairy king has been around for 3,000. Converting that to human years is weird, though. I'll say, like, Elaine was supposed to live to 1,000. So 700 years. Okay, so Elaine was in her 70s. All right, we'll be nice to Elaine. And if she wasn't in her 70s, she was, like, 30s? And that's just going off of the 700 years that she was alone, I'm pretty sure. So if she's supposed to live 1,500. Yeah, so she's around in her, like, late 40s, early 50s. All right. How's bad is Ghost's eyesight? Less than 0.1% without his glasses. I guess that's awful. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about glasses. I have glasses. I just don't know enough about them. What does Greenmore do on his day off? Holding Veronica's luggage. Greenmore, the ultimate, I can't say that word. Does Hauser go to the work from his parents' house? Poor Hauser. What wine? How old is Hauser when he did his hairstyle when he was an adolescent? Who is the biggest sweet tooth of the sins? Seems to be essential. Merlin? No, I mean, that makes sense. Gluttony. I'm worried about the groin of the Holy Knight is peeling off. Can they keep a code piece, a hit bag? What? Can I be strong like Pig Hawk? Before getting strong, I think becoming a pig is the hard part here. Yo, knock up a spitting. How did Hendrickson learn his power? Acid. He lived in the Druids when he was a boy. Whew. I'm sorry, that water be smacking. Can Lord Dreyfus handle all the house chores? Can he cook? After his wife passed away, his younger sister helped with the house chores. Really have to agree more. I wonder why we never meet her. I wonder. That's actually a legitimate question. I wonder why we never meet Grimoire's aunt and Dreyfus's sister. Because, like, that would have been cool. It would have been cool to see her reaction to knowing that it was fraudulent the entire time. But I guess, you know, not Seven Deadly Sins is such a pack story as it is. Another character probably wouldn't do Nakaba too well. What is Hawk's dream? To become an invincible pig. He's already sort of invincible. Let's see. What human appearance does Hawk think looks cool? He thinks King's old man appearance isn't too bad because they're both round. Does Hendrickson like older women? Younger women? What kind of woman does he prefer? He isn't sure himself. He's never been in a relationship with a woman. Poor Hendrickson. My poor boy Hendrickson. Bond and Elizabeth get along. They don't seem to interact with each other very much. They don't spend much time together. They don't speak to each other very much. Elizabeth has been intimidated by Bond. I'd be intimidated by Bond too. That man's like 7 feet tall. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's see. Elizabeth is 5'4". And that young boy Bond, who's in his early 20s, by the way. That young boy Bond is 6'11". My boy's pretty much 7 feet. He's literally, I think, like 1.5 feet, 5'6". Yeah, he's over 1.5 feet taller than her. I'd be intimidated by Bond too if I was Elizabeth's size. I'd be intimidated by Bond too if I'm my size. Jeez. These old men King have chest hair. He's a ton of thick chest hair. That's disgusting. Will King and Oslo ever be drawn? Maybe, depending on the demand. See, Nakaba, you're so good at, like, introducing character relationships, but you gotta start, like, showing us the beginning of them. Because that would be cool to see. What kind of pens do you use to draw your fine, pristine backgrounds? Do you use normal G pens or mapping pens? I have no idea what that means. What books do you read? Brown, Don's Inferno. What do advisors from the Fairy King generally do? They advise the Fairy King. Yeah, don't say, Nakaba, among other things. Basically exists as wise counselors. Interesting. See, they say advisors as in plural, but I feel like the only advisor we ever really get to see is like Gerharde, and that's about it. Are all druids born with white hair? Not a lot of them, but many have white or silver hair. See, you say not a lot of them, but then you say many. Nakaba? What was the scariest game you ever played? Silent Hill? Okay, Nakaba. Which of the wanted posters are your favorite, Nakaba? Since Diane, she looks really evil. Really? I actually like Escanor's the most. I really, as much as I like current Escanor's design, I would have been way cooler with like the proper beard and the longer hair. I feel like it would have looked really cool. In the lifespan of Fairy King longer than the rest of the fairies, it might be the longest out of all the different species. That is crazy, but it makes perfect sense considering they're supposed to rule over their realm, and they're probably pretty hard for the Sacred Tree to produce considering how strong they normally are. But on top of that, like, what are the fairy princesses? Like, the King and Elaine and Gerharde and Gloxinia are explicitly stated to not be like close friends or like pseudo relatives. They're brother and sister. Does Dahlia have a little sister? Like, what's the dealio here? Is Dahlia's little sister the monkey that was on his shoulder? But that's a legitimate question. Like, what was the strat there? Like, why do they get to live so long? And how long is it? What's your favorite wanted posters? Wait, no. Bacho Sensei, what's your alcohol tolerance level? Oh my wife is a 5, now I'm about 4,350. Golly. Who gave Bon his name? Did someone give him that name, or did he call himself that? His parents gave him the name, more or less. Yeah, that would make sense. How big is the planet Melius and the others live on? Oh, it's just Earth, and out of that, Britannia is modern-day England. I'm shocked that people have so much confusion about that. Both in and out of Earth, people always just assume that Britannia is the entire planet, even though, like, there are multiple times that the inverse, it's referenced that this is a planet. Like, they're living in a regular world. There's, like, stars in the night sky. Nanashi isn't from the same continent of Britannia. Gilthunder says when he's standing in the room with, like, the assault force versus the defenders of the demon clan, he's like, these are the strongest beings on the planet. Like, I don't get it, but I guess a lot of people, since the series is so Britannia locked, it makes sense why people would think that. But I don't know. It always blows my mind that people ask that. Is the spirit form chastiful one of the 10 forms? The spirit is form number 1. Obviously, doesn't he literally say form 1 chastiful? Does Gothar take baths? Gothar's body basically never gets dirty. How though? He's still a doll. Like I mean, I don't think he should be immune to dirt, but I guess he is. How did you decide the birthdays of the characters to be included in the Sinful Anatomy book? What did the characters say to me? Mine's February 8th. Don't forget. Is that supposed to be Bond? I'm not gonna wait. I have Bond open on my phone. Let me see. It's either Bond or Melius. That's the only way. Those are the only two. It's only English. Wait, hold on. The English is coming to me. That's the only kind of person who would laugh like that. But it's not Bond. I'm gonna pop in Elizabeth real quick. Birthday, June 12th. I was definitely way off. And it's either Meliodas or Diane then. Was Meliodas born on February? No, July. Who laughs like that? I know I'm spending way too long on this, but who laughs like that? Golly. December 24th. I'm not even bothering looking that up. Who the heck laughs? I don't know. Do Helbram and Gerharde get along? Gerharde thinks of Helbram as a bit of an outcast. To be fair, Helbram is like an anomaly amongst anomalies among the fairies. Like, he's not related to the royal family at all, so he doesn't have an excuse to be more human-sized, or like closer to human-sized, like Gerharde and Elaine do. And obviously like King and Gloxinia. But at the same time, he was relatively powerful, could draw out a decent amount from the Sacred Tree, and was one of the biggest fairies we ever get to see. He was pretty much, I think he was as tall, if not taller than King too. So I don't know. Helbram was weird. He was kind of an outcast. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just a weird mutation. You never know. I think in this Q&As they tell him what plant Helbram came from. But my man, he was special. Sorry, y'all. My throat mad dry. Hey, yo, pause, delete that. But what is the criteria for Hendrickson's girlfriend? A woman who's a bit weird and eccentric, but can still watch over him kindly, I'd imagine. I bet that's like what your life is, Nakaba. I'm not insulting her, Nakaba. I just think that I feel like that's what Nakaba's kind of into. Do you plan to bring the Ancient Fairy King to the main story? Maybe. And this has to be pre-commandments, because he says ancient fairy king. He doesn't say second. So I'm pretty sure he's like Gloxinia. I love how you draw armor. Sometimes they use illustrated reference, but most of them are originals. That's crazy. How Helram used his Link Death ability, but isn't the number of types of powers limited? Because of Link, Helram can use a variety of powers. Like that's how it was explained. So Veronica didn't die at the Fizel fight. So she came back in the story. What she's doing? She spent her time with Griamore and Little Shag next to Lake Penance. What they were doing all that time, no one knows. Griamore, you better got up in them guts, boy. Can King fly higher than mountains or maintain his flight for the day? Floating part isn't tiring, but flying with all his might unsurprisingly is. Moreover, he's typically lazy. Yes, in a song. I'm not gonna look at that. We're just gonna skip over that. What did Merlin become an apprentice? But when though? But when? Did I miss this? Naka, but the series is over. Did I miss this? How did Vivian become Merlin's apprentice? Someday the episode will be drawn. I don't think it has. Unless I'm missing something. And I've scoured the internet for all the 7 Deadly Sins side stories. But I don't ever remember seeing that. When Elaine was arrived in chapter 142, she made a dress for herself with flower petals. Was she wearing underwear? Whoa! How many times has Bond broken out of prison up to this point? So many times that he himself has lost count. But majority of them happened when he was still a kid. That's impressive then. I'm surprised they didn't just murder my boy. Why does Slater wear a mask? It's like a switch. Yeah, I remember that one. We know Elaine smell like. What do the other fairies? What do they smell like? Helram smells like white roses. Oh, that's depressing. Gerhardi smells like mint. That makes sense. The first fairy king smells like ginger. Because Gloxinia is a ginger kind of guy. What game did you play recently? Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Jeez, the series is old. How have you cleared the 7 Deadly Sins game book? Yes, I've done several times. I'm not gonna buy into your advertisements. Someone tells me a lie that they honestly believe being true for the gallon of the truth. Okay, so it's just conscious lying. So like, if I were to roll up the gallon truly believing that I was the strongest in creation and said it, I'd be fine. But if I knew I was capping, which I know I am, then I get turned to stone. Alright. Who's the captain of the police of the Azure Sky? Denzel. Yep. After the passing of his wife, Anna has Dreyfus dated any other woman. How come we never get to see Anna? I don't think we ever get to see her. She has a whole name and everything, but we never get to see her. Which of the 10 Commandments do you like best? Which one of them is most wicked? Well, to top it off, I have to be... Yo, Nakaba knows his characters. He knows what he likes. And I like him too. Gallon is heat. If you like Gallon so much, why'd you do him so dirty? Like, come on now. Why'd you do my boy Gallon so dirty? Well, to top it off, Gallon and Derriere. I know why you like Derriere. What is the most wicked? You'll just have to wait to find out. I think that ended up being Esterosa, who was like the most wicked out of all of them. And ironically enough, he wasn't even really a commandment. Well, he was a commandment, but he wasn't a demon. Because like there's no real other competition. I mean, Fraudulent was a menace, but he wasn't an Esterosa kind of menace. If you roasted up Hawk and ate him, how many calories would he be? Around 30,000. Hawk be delicious. What does Arthur think of Gothar? He's a strange fellow and he's a dude, right? Yo, Arthur, you rocking with Gothar? How old was Hendrickson when he set off the Druid Village? Answer is volume 17. Go look for it. I ain't looking for nothing. In your writing announcing the end of Diane's story to be continued. But is it really going to be a continuation? I want to know what happens. Diane's side story is currently still a work in progress, hence the to be continued. Nakaba, it never came out. Never. It still hasn't. Hello? Nakaba? Hello? Where is it? There's so many things in here that he promises he's gonna do. Never happened. At least as far as I know. Please, if y'all actually know where all this stuff is, please drop it in the comment section so I can go read it. Like, I'd be scouring, I'd be looking, I'd be hunting. I just can't find it. If it exists, can fairies be able to turn the opposite sex, or is there gender in the first place? Yes, there is gender. No, it's possible. Yeah, that makes sense. What kind of body older does Melius have? He's still quite a young man. That always threw me off, though. I know demons technically age slower, but Melius didn't get the immortality curse placed on him for a while. At least I don't think he did. He was older than Zeldris, and Zeldris was 252, I do believe, on the top of the dome. And considering demons are supposed to live for like 1,000 years, and let's say like some of the healthiest humans live for about 100, so demons' lifespan is basically just 10 times higher. So Meliodas should technically, by the time Zeldris is around, even if he's only like a year older than Zeldris, which I doubt, he should be 25. Both of those two should be bigger in my mind. I don't know why they're so tiny, especially considering their dad. But then again, we never get to see their mom, so who knows? Maybe the Demon King's into midgets. I don't know. But the clothes that Shivago are wearing on the flashbacks, yep. I like that. Ah, that's such a sad story, though. My poor boy Bond. That's the one thing Sir Hendrickson always wished for Sir Dreyfus to change about himself for his sake. Whenever he drinks too much ale and ends up hurling it all back up. Being a mangaka, recommend drinking alcoholic beverages sometimes. Merlin in love with the captain. Hold on, I gotta drink to this. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking water, but I have to drink. All I'll say is all the seven deadly sins. In all of the seven deadly sins, the captain and Merlin have known each other for the longest. If this was the foreshadowing, this off-screen foreshadowing for Merlin's whole motivation for the end of the series, to jack up the end of the series, Knock up, I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you. I don't even know why this person asked that. I guess just because everyone's supposed to be in love with the main character, because they're the main character. Dreyfus keeps his hair long because Fraudulent likes it. Hey, yo, Fraudulent. Hendrickson are now living in the Boar's Hat. I forgot about the Boar's Hat expansion because it basically meant nothing because we stopped. I mean, we lived there for a bit. Ooh, I'm sorry. We were there for a bit, but it never ended up really being anything outside of like a quiet location on occasion. And it really got used or mentioned, honestly. How would you rank the cooking abilities? Oh, Melius and Hawk. Yeah, that makes sense, obviously. How would you rank the cooking abilities? Bond would be Diamond, Melius would be Despair. But I want to know how good Escanor cooks. I feel like Escanor can whip it up in the kitchen. Suzuki-sensei, which part of the manga do you pay attention to when you draw? Above all, make sure it's easy to read. And that is true. I'll give Seven Deadly Sins, I'm going to talk about in a Seven Deadly Sins art video, or manga composition video, or something along those lines. I won't go full in depth, but Nakaba is very, very good at drawing flowing scenes. How are the powers that each of the Holy Knights have decided? A person's power is influenced by their personality, talents, and nature. That is so vague. Do you have any game or manga universes? Final Fantasy V, Skyrim, and Sly Cooper. How big is Gothar as a doll? 23 to 24 centimeters. So he's about off the top of the domer. Off the domer. 10 inches? I have a ruler right next to me. And that doesn't help. No, I'm kidding. 10.5 inches. Why does he range though? It should just be the solid height. Does Gothar do any cooking when he was Armando? Yeah, makes sense. I feel like Gothar would be a decent cook just because of what he says here. Cure Angel that's inside of King Leonis. That's inside King Leonis. How exactly did it get there? The tone of the voice in his OVA probably either... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I was thinking that was like the gigantic horn of Serenos that was sitting in the basement that Melius destroyed in an OVA. But no. Before he learned how to make clothes like humans, what clothes did King wear? The same kind of help. Honestly, I want to see King's old drip. I really do. Just because I want to know what it looked like. Like, he would look kind of cool in Hellroom's clothing type. At least that's what I think. Is Escanor wearing glasses just for show? Yeah, my poor boy. Well, not just for show. It's to suppress his daytime form at night. No, his daytime form in the day, not in daytime form at night. What does Death Pierce consider Denzel? A reliable superior. Is Dreyfus ambidextrous? Yep. Fraudulent. Oh, Fraudulent's right-handed. I thought Fraudulent was left-handed. I'm tripping. Yes, Meliodas is just weird. Why isn't Hauser popular? He's too nice. Oh, poor Hauser. Which of the 10 commandments can hold their booze the best? Esteros, Fraudulent, and Monspeed. I guess Galen did get drunk pretty quickly. I honestly want to see a drinking contest between all the commandments, because they're like, I think there's a title page where all of them are drinking together. So I honestly would love to see that again. I wonder how much the Giants can handle drinking-wise. I know they drink whole barrels of the stuff, because we know Diane drinks straight from a barrel. She doesn't drink cups of it. But I wonder, like, I'm shocked he didn't include Droll here. Maybe Droll just doesn't drink. But I'm pretty sure he does drink. I don't know. Does Dreyfus have any body hair? All over. Bushels of it. Just like King in his fat form. How many days do you playing the... Yeah, come on now. That's one day. How exactly strong is Liz? Liz was as strong as Lord Twigo? The entire verse gets an upgrade. Because Lord Twigo is infinite plus. Okay, we're going to keep going. Basha Sensei, how do you like your coffee? Dripped and unsweetened. Who's the dumbest character? Hawk. Golly. Go straight for the neck. Does Bonzel? Whoa. Denzel and Bartra get along. Yeah. Are they brothers? I'm pretty sure they're brothers. Yeah, they're brothers. Are Holy Knights popular with the ladies? They're definitely respected, but as far as whether or not they get any action, I suppose it depends on the individual. Shout outs to the young boy Dreyfus. If Matilda were a human, how old would she be? 24 to 25. Now, how old is Matrona actually? That doesn't even matter, because we know Diane's like 15. Yikes! The Gloxinia and descendants is with the particle Zoo from 3,000 years ago. Yeah, Zoo. I feel like that makes more sense in the Japanese translation, because I don't remember him using Zoo that often. Then again, I didn't watch the anime, so they may have used it there in like this sub version, but I don't remember in the English translation of the manga. So I guess that's just something that Gloxinia did. Are you planning to tell stories about the countries other than Britannia? Maybe about people from other countries in Britannia, like Nanashi. Never did. How did Elaine get when she drunk? Wow, that makes sense though. When did Elaine start hiding her right eye? When she was a kid? Is Helene considered a young lady among the fairies? Fairy's appearance doesn't change much, but she's considered a great fairy of high status. That makes sense. She's the princess. Does Hawk have any other family than Hawk Mama? I mean, yeah, he does have a lot, because he's technically related to Kath. That's wild. That's wild now that I think about it. There are a lot of beings just related to each other. Technically, everyone's related. If you really want to stretch it, everyone's related, because they all have the common ancestor of chaos. So maybe Mael, Zeldris, and Melius were always brothers, just in a way they weren't expecting. It's the majority of the Gods Clan females. There are males as well. Some of the top 4 strongest, well, basically, most of the main combatants, the entire 4 Archangels is male, which is something I feel like is a sort of missed opportunity, but I get why he did it, just to hype up Elizabeth more. Why didn't pacifism's commandment activate when Esterosa killed Meliodas? As I've said in the past, the 10 commandments aren't affected by commandments other than their own one, which is cool, but also weird. Like, I understand why the Demon King sort of did that, because it would be hard for them to, like, execute people with Grey Road standing there all the time, because they can just keep blowing through commandments. But at the same time, it's like, it's just rude to have your own commandment affect you. Yeah, Nakoba doesn't use smartphones at all. Are the wings the only thing King hasn't grown? Hey, yo! Is there an ability to change Gothar's figure? Is the ability to change Gothar's figure magic? The functionality has been built in Gothar from the start. But what functionality did Merlin use to do that? Like, is there just a switch on the back of Gothar's neck where she just flicks it with magic and then he turns off? What does Gloxinia think of Droll? We'll never know. Can you please give me recommendations on any manga you read that you liked recently? Piano and Mori. I may go read that. Do you get to name magic yourself? Either you or the teacher that taught it to you? I guess you can just make it up after your teacher dies. Where does Bond live in his Holy Night days? He lived in the same Holy Night barracks as Meliodas and the rest of them. Will Diane's parents ever appear in the story? They're dead. Who created the uniforms for the Boarhat Hen? Meliodas commissioned a tailor. Huh. But initially, Meliodas, I guess he only had Elizabeth as his original waiter, outside of himself. So I guess he probably made the uniforms for Elizabeth only, but then everyone else joined in and decided to be waiters too. Can Esterosa use all of Melius' abilities? Only the ones that are specific to the Demon Clan, like Hellblaze in his own variation of full counter. And like the darkness, and a lot. He can use a lot of them, really. If Kath and Hawk were to fight, who would win? Kath would eat Hawk, as Nakamura admits. Hendy always seems to be playing the comic relief. It's just he's a ditz. I'm sad that Hendrickson's just kind of dumb. What are your favorite colors? Green and red. Is Sariel younger than Elizabeth? As much as it appears so, Sariel's older. That's the weird thing about the Goddess Clan. They don't really, but then again, the Demon Clan has a weird track of growth too. And honestly, the Demon Clan is way weirder. But they seem to be built weird. Like, they never... There's seemingly no uniform growth amongst themselves. Like, they're all completely different. Like, Tarmiel has 3 heads, Ludishel and Mael look like normal people, with just various biological differences like hair color, eye shape, and stuff like that. Then you have someone like Sariel, who's just a kid, but is super grown. Like, Supreme Deity, what were you doing? Then again, if I'm asking the Supreme Deity what she was doing, I gotta ask what the Demon King was doing with his people. But, let me see... Why did you choose to make Melios a young man? For the aesthetic? I don't know. If they're supposed to be from the Goddess Clan, why are the highest ranking people all men? The head of the goddess is female. Yeah, like Supreme Deity. So, to be fair, I don't blame you. I figured there would be one female Archangel, but I guess Elizabeth is sort of like the fake 5th Archangel. Like Zeldris was like the fake 11th commandment until he became one of the commandments, obviously. Like, they were always there. So you knew they were there, but at the same time, They just weren't amongst the top tier ranks. When you decided to come Mangaka, why don't you? It blows my mind that Nakaba does all this himself. He does not have any assistance. Man's wild, bro. Anyway, could someone from another clan become one of the 10 Commandments? And they tried. I mean, I guess Droll and Goxane didn't really become one of the 10 Commandments. They were forcefully conscripted. But obviously, I think through them, it's pretty obvious that they can. How come Elaine, King and Elaine don't have pointy ears like the rest of the fairy clan? Not all fairies have pointy ears. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like pointy ears work better with longer hair anyway. So I think it'd be kind of weird to see King with pointy ears. I'm not going to lie. Is Gloxinia's aesthetic sense anything like King's? Have you seen the two of them? Obviously not. If a fairy and giant get married, will a big fairy be born? Maybe someday. This honestly concerns me because, like, Nakaba later in the Q&A in this list goes to talk about how Diane can't willingly shrink herself anymore. So, King, you're gonna have to wiggle around, big fella. You got to figure that out, or little fella, I guess. Does Housers have any romantic feeling? Yes. Did something like Sin symbol come to you? Do you just spend time? What is the symbol he's talking about, though? Is it like the different tattoos they have? Seven Sin's symbol. I may be tripping. I just don't remember them having like a real definitive symbol. Who's the best drinker of all the Sins? Melius and Merlin. Ironically enough, I guess Merlin just made her body more tolerant, because that isn't her real body. So it explains why she never gets drunk. How old was Merlin's body when she stopped aging? See, that's just a lie. No, not really. She made herself a 30-year-old and then ceased the aging on that body. So technically it's not a lie. But it's kind of a lie. It's kind of cat. Has Merlin ever considered training physical strength? Why would she? Can all the goddess clan heal illnesses and diseases? Do they feel any pain or suffer until they're healed? So the goddess clans can just heal anything. We need goddess doctors. Please come to the earth. Why does Merlin wear such exposing outfits? Merlin likes clothes that don't restrict her movement. But that doesn't make sense. Because she's a magic user. She's not like Meliodas, or Zeldris, or Bon, or Escanor, any of these people who would actually need clothes that don't restrict their movement. She's a magic user. Like, she barely has to move at all. I know what you really did that for, Nakaba. What's your favorite scene out of Signs of the Holy War? Probably from episode 2 when I finished the storyboard. Yeah. What kind of work history has Melius had over 3 things? Mercenary, Hunter, Holy Knight, and Owner of Bar. Yep. You decide the Natsu no Taizai characters' names. Those that aren't from King Arthur, he made up. Nakaba, between buildings, why did you keep drinking water? I kept drinking water because my lips are dry. Nakaba's better at drawing nature. See, Nakaba, this would be a cool fact if we knew what her parents looked like, but we never see. Yo. King, triple A, yo, double. Is there a goddess flute inside Solar Seed's loot? College, is there a goddess flute inside of Solar Seed's loot? Is there a goddess inside of Solar Seed's loot? Well spotted. Solar Seed's loot. I'm pretty sure that was Sariel. Does Eskimo's hometown still exist? Nah, that thing got body bagged. What is Hauser's mother's name? Edda. I haven't had the chance to have her properly make an appearance yet. We did get her. It was in the chapter that Hauser became Chief Holy Knight. Do any of the giants, other than Diana and Matrona, still exist? Yes, they're still living in hiding here and there. How are you a giant and living in hiding? Is Castle snuggled up against Arthur even when he's sleeping? Yep, just like that. Tenderizing the meat so he could eat him later. If Bond doesn't have his cut it, yep, we see that in the Purgatory arc. When does Escanor sleep? You know, in that short time. He can just sleep at night. Like, that man really can't just sleep at night. Why wouldn't he sleep at night? I don't know. This is a weird answer. Why? This is a weird question. Like, why wouldn't he sleep? Which is heavier, the Warhammer Gideon or Divine Axe Rita? The Divine Axe Rita is many times heavier than the Warhammer Gideon. But which one shattered, though? Which one got body bagged by not even being touched? Oh, wait, it was Rita. If you line from the galley on April Fool's Day, will you still turn to stone? Yep. Is there area ever worn clothes? She ended up doing that later. Does Melius know Gothar as a doll? Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense, because why wouldn't he? The thing is, though, this is another interesting part. I wish I had mentioned this in the wasted potential of Prime Melius, leader of the 10 Commandments, but I didn't even know about this. The original Gothar was one of his best friends, so of course he knows. Why can't we see that, Nakaba? Why can't we see more original Gothar? Please? Hello? Why not? I'm just concerned. If King Gloxinia were to arm wrestle, who would win? Gloxinia somehow. It's that experience. When Gothar was a doll, which part of him do you work the most? Making sure you had a Middle Ages style build. What did Merlin... Does Gloxinia have a sister complex? Y'all are weird. What kind of questions are these? What does a kiss taste like? Okay, King's also weird. King, you're dropping down the list, good buddy. You're dropping down the list. Slowly but surely, you're being kind of a creep, pal. You're being kind of a creep. Already, it ain't the 15-year-old when you're like 1,500. Does Goddess Wings get in the way of their everyday life? Their living place is made so their wings do not disturb them. Alright, that makes sense. Yo, can we... Yo, Nakaba, please? Nakaba? I know the movie's canon. Please show us a scene in the Celestial Realm. With a sun. Please? Apply the lore better just being lore. Please? Which character would you end up adding, drawing too much emotion to them? Everyone gets emotion. Does Merlin ever have failed experiments? Where's my English? Yep. Captain, what should I do to protect the person I love? Before you can take her away, just gobble her up. Hawk on that calf mentality. Did Hendrickson take action? He doesn't follow Fraudulent agenda. It's amazing that Fraudulent didn't have perfect control over Hendrickson, because Hendrickson wasn't naturally threatening. He was naturally an idiot. Ludishel is Ludishel aware of Nerboss's feelings? Yeah, I bet he is. He just manipulates her. Are there any hierarchies among the 4 Archangels? Ludishel just pretends to be the leader. But to be fair, there does seem to be a hierarchy in power. Like, Mael is consistently said to be the strongest of them at his peak, and Ludishel is the leader, and he does way better against the commandments than Sarmiel. I always fuse their name for some reason. Tarmiel and Sariel were doing against the commandments. So I always feel like there is some sort of hierarchy, but not in terms of like rank, but in terms of power. What sake would Sensei recommend? When did Slater get a scar on his forehead? Assassin. Druids live longer than normal humans. Yeah, that makes sense. They are just regular humans. How did Fraudulent get freed from the goddess seal? He was sealed by a different goddess. That's another story we just never get to see. Who sealed Fraudulent? But 16 years ago, the seal was broken by the human people of Danafor. Quit? If you read this week's chapter, you'll find out. I think that's when he was sick. Did you intentionally draw the changes in Elizabeth? Whoa, I'm just going to leave that. How did any of the past Elizabeth do when reclaiming their memories? She died from old age before, too. That's wild. Imagine Melius. That's weird, though. Because the curse is supposed to bring them together so Meliodas can fall in love. And then just die gruesomely. Maybe there are times where Meliodas just went on the, if I don't run into this problem, I don't have to deal with it. And he just, left it alone and she just died on her own. Because I guess that's how it would work. Who's the master that taught magic to Merlin? Her father as well as the magician Gothar. When? How? Why can't we see this? Nakaba, you have so much interesting things locked behind this dude. Why can't we see any of it? Is this a test tube Merlin put a masking in a magic item? When you're in good shape, how many pages can you draw a day? For penciling, I can do 30, but for inking as well, 16. Does Goddess Elizabeth have a best friend? She did, but she fell in love with the demon clans of Melius, so distance was put between them. I think her best friend was supposed to be Jeliment from the Druid side story. I forget what it's called. The one where we see the troll being possessed by that goddess. I'm pretty sure Jeliment was supposed to be Elizabeth's best friend because she was mad at Elizabeth for loving Meliodas. What does Merlin think of Princess Elizabeth? She thinks the Sister's present form. Makes sense. Would you hate it someone like Chandler existed in reality? Personally, I don't exactly hate that kind of old man. Aw, the one that cares for their pseudo son. When Zardes has killed one with Zenzel on another mission, not Leona's. What really kind of relationship does Twigo have with Ibaya, brother and sister? Do you have any plans to write a story about Merlin and a lot of... When? Nakaba, do you have any plans to write the story of Merlin and the goddess Elizabeth's past? I do. Where? When? We are... Once again, if this has happened, please just drop a link in the comment section. I want to go read it because I don't remember remembering this happening because I don't think Nakaba ever did it. How did the captain get interested in cooking? Well, Merlin Melius decided to just kill a bunch of people because he thought he was good at it. What does Arthur think of Merlin's clothes? She's an adult woman. Arthur, if only you knew. When drinking tea, what is Kusak? He just moves them. Do Arthur and Merlin love each other? Master his pupil? Honestly, this is my own personal headcanon. I don't think Merlin ever cared about Arthur. He was just a means to an end, just like all the other previous human kings. I don't think she cared about anything outside of chaos. If I'm being real, the way the end of the story portrays Merlin, I think she doesn't really care about Arthur in my mind. Have similarly seen the Elizabeth save their old uniforms? What kind of girls does Gila like? As far as types go, if you took Jericho and made her personality easygoing, laid back, and only sincere, she'd probably be matched for something like that. Oh, that's cool. Why does Melius Wonder Puss look like Esterosa? Because he ate. Well, they thought he would age. Does Esterosa have a habit when he's drunk? He gets really hyped up. He's normally really hyped up, so that's interesting. What's the average power level of the gods clan? Similar to the demon clan, it varies all over the spectrum. Is there any possibility of other races other than the main 5? Monsters all born from the mother of chaos. We know that's chaos itself. If you corrected the drawings from the magazines to the tank Kobums, is it because you were dissatisfied with them? Yep, exactly that. That makes sense. Cactus. Golly, his cactus is dead. When the 10 Commandments seal, why would human blood do anything? It was definitely the demon blood. Demon blood has a lot of nutrients, I suppose. Are certain numbers of fairies able to read the minds of others? Between many and a few, I'd say the latter. So Lancelot got really lucky, because my man is not even a full fairy, but he has super strong mind reading, which is weird. But I guess he is the son of, like, the queen. Well, yeah, the literal queen of their fairy country, but also the princess of the fairy people. So I guess it makes sense he would have rather strong mind reading. Let's see. Rascinosis glasses prescription. We already know that's not. What cup size narrow bust? Around an H cup. Impressive. Do you draw manga in the morning or night? He does that both times. So we get to know what Droll thinks of Gloxinia. But we don't get to see what Gloxinia thinks of Droll. Probably because Gloxinia would just roast Droll. And that poor waste of a character. Is the Fountain of Youth still under the protection of Bond even now? Yeah, honestly, that's a weird thing, though. What's the deal with the Fountain of Youth now? Does it just respawn now that it's not in use anymore? Because Bond can't fuel the tree anymore. Is it just done? Like, what's the deal now? Because he sacrifices immortality. He's done. And I don't think Elaine isn't immortal now. She's just alive again. So, like, what's the deal here? Is the fairy tree just gonna die eventually because it doesn't have the Fountain of Youth? I have no idea. Let me see. Any other clans? Giants don't wear underwear. Wow. What was Melius' commandment from 3,000 years ago? Love. Yep. What are the differences between purgatory, peaceful, and prison? Favorite food? Kath will eat anything. Whoa, we know that. Ooh. Huh. Feeling a bit strange, not going to lie. What are your special skills, Bacho Sensei? From empty promises for deadlines. I usually just end up saying, yeah, I'll do it. How about empty promises for stories you're going to tell us, Nakaba? Where's the Mael versus Meliodas fight, please? I beg. Where's Elizabeth versus Meliodas? Where are all these fights that I really want to see? That is super important for scaling. But let's keep moving. Your demons look the way from the moment they're born. There's a large amount of uniqueness in them. I guess it's yes. I think Zelda's eye color looks weird on him. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the green looks weird with his black and red aesthetic. Does Rosa also have a Master of Arms? No, because he does. Because he's not real. Ludoshel and Mael on good terms as brothers. Yep. Gothar inherit all of 10 Commandments Gothar's magic. 10 Commandments Gothar could use various types of magic, including invasion, but Dol Gothar can only use invasion. So the makeup he's using semi-permanently until there's something happening to him. Thing is, though, why can't we see original Gothar use more than just invasion? Anyway, I suppose that doesn't really matter. But sadly, I would have really loved to see it. Yeah, Searchlight, Hierarchies, Old Man King. Yo, Diane's in the fat man. I see you, Diane. I know it's Old Man, but I just call him Fat King. How are fairies born? Born from nature. Flowers and trees. What was Helbram born from? Why does Helbram, or even better, why does King? Because fat old men are cool. Huh? They are, aren't they? I love you, King. Even though you're kind of weird. Who's the most handsome character? Nembutsu Bansho from his previous manga. Do Meliodas and his brother have a mother? I'd assume so. Is she a midget? Why are they so tiny? Do you have plans to draw the encounter between Meliodas and Elizabeth from 3,000 years ago? I'll properly draw it. Now, to be fair, I don't know when this Q&A came out, but if drawing the encounter between Elizabeth and Meliodas was that one panel we got to see of them together, it's a waste. It's a waste. Why can't I see more? Why can't I see more, Nakaba? Why can't I see more? What's the dealio, pal? What's the dealio? Kind of hurt, kind of despair, kind of in pain and agony right now. Between Galen and Chandler, who is the oldest? Chandler. Even within the Demon Clan, those two may be the oldest ones. So I don't assume he's talking about Chandler or Galen here. I feel like he may be talking about Cusack. Because they were made at the same time. And they're way older. Like, they were around before the Ten Commandments. Like, their original gifted power is what led to the Ten Commandments. So it makes sense that Chandler would be older. How many poems does Escanor dedicate to Merlin? A lot. Are day and night Escanor's conscious of each other? That is cool that they are. Is Zelda's bad at cooking like Melius? I roast meat, then eat it. Wouldn't that be cooking? If so, I can cook. I love Zelda's. Merlin's fallen in love with Meliodas up to now. She's a one-sided love for Meliodas. Is it me or just I guess I need to reread Hunting for Merlin being thirsty for Meliodas, because all the build-up for Merlin loving Meliodas and that being her entire motivation to releasing Chaos, the ultra deadly deity that ends up nearly destroying the entire world at the end of Seven Deadly Sins, seems to be all built up in this Q&A, because I don't ever remember seeing it in the main narrative. I just thought they were homies. But I guess you can't have a male and female homie. How much family do Merlin and her father feel? None. What's your favorite day of the week? Nakaba Sensei, Saturday. Now we're close weekend and darn. That's sad. Which point are you most fixated on drawing? That's something that Escanor doesn't have. That's disgusting. Is Mael's personality mixed today, Escanor? Being day Escanor is night Escanor's original wish of a sort. Oh, I get this now. I saw this question earlier, but I never got it. But that makes sense. Is Mael's personality mixed to Day Escanor's? Like, is the reason Day Escanor is such a drastically different person from Night Escanor because of the effects of Sun and because Mael was the previous wielder? But no, Escanor, Day Escanor is just like what baby Escanor dreamed to be at all times. So that makes sense. Notes of voice acting from Nakaba. Does the power level vary between This Is the Best Feeling Ever DOS and Fraudulent Battle and Let Me Out of Here DOS and the Melius Battle? Since it's right before the latter goes assault mode, it's higher by far DOS. So yeah, that makes sense. Everyone always wonders why, like, oh well no, not everyone always wonders. I always say that Meliodas in the Escanor fight is not really Prime Meliodas, and it's because of stuff like this. Like, Nakaba says it here in this, because we know the Fraudulent fight happens after the Meliodas fight, I'm pretty sure. Wait, am I? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm thinking of it backwards. But regardless, though, that's a different thing. I was thinking of a different thing. Fraudulent does take place before Escanor, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because... yeah, he has to, because then Meliodas leaves. My bad. I completely thought that situation backwards. But still, regardless, at Meliodas, the 142,000 power level we get from Meliodas is not the true power level of Prime Meliodas. It's not even anywhere near it. As Merlin says, right after that fight, Meliodas is actually getting stronger than when he was from before, when he's taking 72% battle damage. So, that is not Prime Meliodas. He was simply getting stronger as time went on, as he was unlocking more and more of his powers. That's that. Don't confuse this. But yes, that still makes sense though, because Meliodas was like sacrificing more of his emotions to get more of his power back. If Meliodas' teacher was such a skilled magic user, why doesn't Meliodas use magic himself? Meliodas is the type that likes to move his body around. That makes sense, but I would have loved it if Meliodas, like, if he hadn't just taken full counter, like he had started to use some of Chandler's magical techniques to supplement full counter as he moves his body around. Like, you hear Melius yell, "Meteor works!" And then meteors start flying down, and he just starts jumping between them, full countering them at his opponent. That would have been cool. How many games have you haven't played yet? 20! Yikes. Hard. Why do Jenna's and Generi's bodies not age even though they're human? Their original body's already dead. That's sad. Is there any occupations you would like to do besides being a manga artist? Being an editor for a manga? Of course. Melius grew up from a child and adult, but Sarah never grew up. Each of their bodies has unique traits and characteristics. Apparently their growth doesn't necessarily happen like it does in humans either. Interesting. I wonder why the Supreme Deity was so random with their DNA. Because, like, red demons look like red demons. Gray demons look like gray demons. I guess Melius and Zelda are so weird. Never mind. I can't even praise the Demon King on that, because they're all weird. Only 6-7 hours for some games. Let's see you, Nakaba. Why is the goddess Elizabeth only dressed with a different style with the other goddesses? More interaction with other races other than the goddesses. I'm assuming her original goddess Elizabeth's outfit is based somewhat on, like, fairy and giant culture mostly. Because I don't think it's based on demon culture. Demon culture seems to be very Sorry. Demon culture seems to be very armor based. It's either armor and or those weird fancy clothes. Like Monspeed has the whole cape and everything. Meliodas, when he was leader of the Ten Commandments, he had that weird like sleeveless shirt and the gloves and everything like that. And same thing with Zeldris. I don't think she got influenced by demon culture. Did someone grave robbers? What is Goddess Elizabeth's power levels? Potentially on the same level as the 4 Archangels or even above them. Scaling! So, I think it's above them. I'm legitimately confident it's above them. Because Elizabeth was holding back 2 Endor on her own. Hypothetically, could have beaten them one-on-one, but she didn't want anyone to suffer anymore. So, it makes sense that she'd be above Ludishel, but then the main contention comes in with Mael. And, like, you can argue back and forth on that, but the reason I will always give it to Elizabeth is because the Elizabeth we see encounter Meliodas in that one panel. To be fair, we never see them fight, but that one panel, Meliodas was in assault mode. And we don't know the end result of that fight. Though I'm leaning towards Meliodas, winning, because that makes more sense, because Elizabeth probably would have killed him if she would have won, because she was known as Bloody Ellie. But the thing is, I think, well, yeah, obviously, Melius was in assault mode in that fight, and then Elizabeth was able to survive that. Meanwhile, Mael's best feat is surviving Demon Mark. And I'm pretty sure Demon Mark's weaker than assault mode, unless there's some new contention about that. But let's keep it moving. There's something Bond is not good at. Taking orders from others. That makes sense. Rose is dead. Let me see. Eskino. So I'll just hold his booze. Yo. Demon King Meliodas, go get on the basketball court. In all of the Elizabeth reincarnation up until now, has she had any parents? Yes. Is 190 centimeters actually 6'2"? I know 180 is like 6 foot. I feel like that should be taller. Maybe I'm just doing my conversions wrong. What is your favorite entry in the Dragon Quest Final Fantasy VII series? What kind of training can I do to get a body look like Escanor's? First, you need the Grays of Sunshine. That would definitely help. You would have to be human too, because Sunshine doesn't affect Mael. How much yen would Melius offer this cost? 8. Famitsu and Diencia? I have no idea what those are. The King awoken, but did anything else about him change? He got taller too. King is 6 foot. That's crazy, because he's still like a fifth of Diane's height. Poor King. Interesting question that I'm not going to read. Do you think the content of the guidance from the beginning, or did the occasion present itself? Mainly the latest. I'm assuming that's supposed to be the latter. I decided on development one way or another. Okay. There's Merlin's Don't Look How. Yep. Same thing with Day Escanor and Night Escanor. Bond is no longer immortal now. Roughly how much of his lifespan does he have left? He became around immortal when he was in his 20s, so we'll just pick up from there. That's what I never got. Maybe Elaine will just off herself once Bond dies. Because if we're being real, it probably would have been better for Merlin just to cast the Chrono Coffin on Elaine until... Or no, just cast Chrono Coffin on Elaine. Because that'll lock her body in the same position. Basically, it'll just pull a Merlin, and they can both be immortal together forever. Rather than Bond sacrificing it. I don't know. That always seems strange to me. Are powers inherited sometimes? Has Helen ever been loved? He doesn't know anything about that. She gains her memories. You gotta imagine, though, like, there have been, 107, 108 Elizabeths? So she has all of her memories. She has the lives of 108 different people just flowing through her head. That's gotta be crazy. Elaine wants to touch Bond's facial hair, but did she ever see it? What is Hawk Mama's power level, roughly? Impossible to measure. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Nagaba's memeing here, or if he's being serious. Like, this is late into the series, like, late into the series. So he probably knew. He had to have known about the Chaos stuff. And the reason this is important, because Chaos is arguably the strongest character in the verse. And then there's another Q&A that comes later, and we're gonna get into that more when we get into there. However, tell me, please secretly tell me what you think of your boss. He's the best friend dream, but I could have. When did Melius meet Merlin? That's another thing that blows my mind. Why did Meliodas save Merlin before he met Elizabeth? Because that looked like apathetic leader of the Ten Commandments, Meliodas. But who knows? Maybe the timeline's weird. Diane doesn't hate how tall she is anymore. Yeah, like, whoa. Sun just doesn't activate at night, so he wouldn't really have a fluctuating power level then. Like, he'll activate any way that way towards Eldris. Yep, Eldris the same. What is the most troublesome character to draw? The Demon King. I remember seeing that. Among the Elizabeth so far, were there any that died without ever getting the memories back? I actually wrote something like that for the anime that's currently airing. Please look forward to it. I don't remember. I need to look that up. How is Merlin's real name pronunciation sound? Sounds like talking underwater. But the thing is, though, Merlin is revealed to just be a human. She's not any special secret sixth species like we were thinking. She's just a human. So why is her real name some weird thing that only Demon Tongue can pronounce? And she's not even a demon. I have no idea. What is Kongo Bancho's power level? 400,000. No, even higher. I need to go read his old manga. Why doesn't Escadar ever really use kicks? It's just because he doesn't need to. Man, do you see that man's upper body? He didn't skip leg day, but he sure doesn't need it. The 4 Archangels disintegrate die. This was the thing that caught me off guard. Thank y'all for telling me this in the comment section. The Archangels can just reincarnate. I hope they become important in the next series, because they weren't really that important in the original series. Why can't the Supreme Deity's face be seen? Because it's the light itself. No. You just didn't want to show her face. Because she has an eye. We see the eye. In the trailer, at least. Arthur thinks Captain's a strange creature, then why do you keep carrying him around? Do you like Dragon Age? Never played it, but he loves Skyrim. Common language. It's English. Yeah. What do you do on your days off? He's a not a Japanese person. He's just not from the same country. Bloodstained Ellie. Nickname come from her killing many demons. It was the result of her killing them, although it was to protect her comrades and getting awfully powerful, so it would seem. So Elizabeth was spawn killing. Like she was grinding them levels up. That's the only thing that can be explained. But here's the thing. Since Elizabeth was a menace, what changed? Like, if Elizabeth truly was, I'm out here slaughtering people, what changed? Why? I want to see more 3,000 years pass. Just give me a side manga, Nakaba. I don't care if it's like 15 chapters long. Just give me a side manga of 3,000 years past. There's too much important information left back there that we just never get to see. What is Elaine's size after awakening? 158 centimeters and her magic power. Tell me your favorite filmmakers. Christopher Nolan. That's an interesting combo. Here's another thing that's scaling interesting. What's the most Shaxables King can use at once? 4. In return, each one's precision and power drop greatly. Greatly. So that means that King washed Mael at maybe a fourth of his actual full wings power. Probably less, because it doesn't say drop in half. It doesn't say split evenly. It says drop greatly. So King at full wings with one spear is wild. That's just insane to me to think about that. Each one drops greatly. That's insane. My man must have been like, if he's washing Mael with probably around a fourth of his power, King had to at least be like darn near 8 times stronger than Mael or something along those lines, because he was bodying Mael with weakened spears. Dreyfus is popular with women. Very King's first move. Yeah. Were the giant clans a failed work? Yeah, obviously. Nagaba Sensei, you ever thought you would change between the start of the simulation? He put on weight. Grimoire hasn't made an appearance in the drawing on the volume spines. Well, Grimoire ain't never getting that appearance then. What age do giants start training for battle as soon as they can walk? Merlin, would Diane be unable to shrink freely once Merlin disappeared? King, you better hope your sacred tree is strong enough to get into her depths of her earth. If you know what I'm saying, if you're really trying to have that kid. But I guess he did, so it worked out. What kind of person is Merlin's mother? A mystery. Because mothers don't matter, apparently. Do fairies have wedding customs? Nope. What does that, said by Elizabeth, marriage? Won't Bond and Elaine hold a wedding ceremony? Bond does not care. Nurturing, golf, playing on drawing the reincarnated Monspeed and Derriere. But I feel like drawing them plenty enough. I think that's But no, I don't think that side story with like Scary in the school dress and Mon Speed. I think that's like some AU or like years down the line, because that doesn't exist in the modern Britannia time. At least I don't think so. I need to reread that. Is Dahlia a man or a woman? A man. Did Liz remember all memories of the priest's carnations? She did the moment she died. Wow. Yikes. Did King and Diane have their own room in the boar's hat? Yep. He just didn't draw it, like you didn't draw pretty much anything you promised here. What do you think about it? Mackerel or pike? Even though it's Harmeel's dead body's vessel, why did he leave it? The efficiency of the vessel was at its limit. Meaning that's kind of crazy though. He was able to destroy a dead body. Which event made the biggest impression on you during the serialization and often ties that serialization? When is Hendrickson able to use Purge around 10, though there's no fixed time? Guru, blah, blah, blah. Botcha Sensei. No, there was something I saw that I need to look at. Let me see. Hold on there for a moment. About as. I'm just going to type in Hawk Mama. So, what is Hawk Mama's power level roughly? Impossible to measure. What is Meliodas' current power level? Probably strong enough to get near Hawk Mama's. I'm not sure, once again, not sure when this Q&A came out. But if he's talking about chaos, if he's being serious to talk about chaos, and he's talking about true magic Meliodas, he said near Hawk Mama's. So that may like just solidly put Arthur above Meliodas if he actually has the full power of chaos. But I don't know. I'll need to double check on that. But there you go. There's me reviewing all of them. There's some interesting stuff in here scaling wise. A lot of it's just cool character stuff. I know this was super long, but I don't know. I enjoyed reading this. If there are any other breakdowns that you would like me to do of stuff like this, or if you ever want to see something like this again, just tell me in the comments section down below. It was actually really fun to do. I wouldn't mind doing something like this again. But that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your own thoughts on this Q&A in the comments section down below. Tell me if you've read it. Tell me if you are going to go read it. Tell me if there's anything else you want me to see or do or something like that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.